Today I'm going to show you how the 5th grade STAR team takes care of attendance. Since I do it for the entire pod, you're going to see it for all 3 teachers. This can be done for all 3 teachers, 4 teachers if you have more than 3, or it can be done for 1 teacher. It just depends on how you want to utilize the system. It may look complicated at first, but once you start working with it, it does actually go pretty quickly. As you can see right now, this is what one of my attendance sheets looks like. We use a dedicated link, so every day I pull an attendance sheet. This can be pulled from Mary Alice's sheet, or if you take it from the Elluminate, if you take your attendance daily, you can pull it into an Excel spreadsheet and then sort it however you choose to do so. Since we have our students log in with our student's last name, it sorts it by the student last name. Student's first name, and our teacher last name. As you can see, Mrs. Bauer, that's me, is first, then there's Mrs. Henry, and then it's Mrs. Peterson. And again, we have our students sign in with their first name. And that looks like it might be confusing to take the attendance, but you're going to see how we have it set up so that it's not. It actually doesn't make it confusing at all. So once I get this set up, I would then make sure that it is sorted. It is sorted by teacher last name, and then it sorts it by the student first name. So again, it puts it in alphabetical order just the way I need it. There's one of every student, so I don't have multiple logins there so that I'm going to get confused in any manner there. So this is just one of the spreadsheets that I use. There is a second one that I use that is called the STAR attendance sheet, and that's my math one. I have 2. I have one for reading, I have one for math. When we go to science, I will be doing science as well. This is what it looks like. This is what I've been keeping all year long. You can see it goes all the way back to the 29th when we started keeping attendance. The names that are listed here are the students that were not there. These are the names that I tick off when I'm doing attendance. I select everybody, but then I check these names and make sure that there's no check mark by them. So when I'm entering my notes, that's all I have to do is check everybody, make sure these names are not checked, and then all my notes are done. So it's a lot easier than making sure that I have everybody checked. And then this number up at the top, the attended, if that number matches the number of check marks that you have in your total view, you know you're right on. So that's another reason I have that. This number up here, you can see in this bar here, the number 180, that's the number of students we have between the 3 of us. We each have 60, there's 180. It subtracts this number right here, okay? And that's the count that will be totaled here. It will total that based on the number of students that end up being populated here, and I'll show you how to populate that in a moment, okay? Right now, these are students I know do not attend our sessions. That's why their names are automatically listed. And then this is a running percentage of students that attend our sessions. For example, on the 24th of October, 83% of our students were at a session, our math session. On the 20th, 76%. I just like to know the data there, approximately how many of our students are showing up. Okay, so this is the second sheet that I work with. I'm going to be going back and forth between the sheets, and you'll see how that works. Down here, I have 3 tabs for the 3 teachers, Bauer, Henry, and Peterson. This is where I'm going to pull the names to put in here and populate these fields. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my math attendance here. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to highlight all of Mrs. Bauer's students. Okay, I just do a drag and pull, click, right mouse click, click copy. Then I go over, again, I'm just clicking where I need to down below. If you can't see that, I'm just clicking on my Excel thing to get to my spreadsheet. Then I go to STAR attendance, which is the file I need. Then I'm going to go to Bauer names. Okay, this is the one I didn't show you. This has a listing of all the students' first names in alphabetical order and then their last names. Okay, this is where I said it wasn't going to matter that it was by the students' first names. Okay, so now what I do is I take what I just copied and I highlight this entire middle column. Okay, just drag it down with a left mouse click. Now we'll do a right mouse click and do paste. It's going to ask me, do I want to paste it because it's not the right size? Answer is yes. Now it has pasted my entire list in there. I have some because I use this every day. This is from the previous day because I already had sorted it. So what I need to do is then I delete those. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back to it eventually, is I'm going to be moving these into the right spots. Okay, but first I want to show you how to do that with the rest of them too. All right, so let's look at Mrs. Henry's. All right, here's what hers looks like. Again, here is all of her students. First names alphabetical. These are the students' last names that go with these first names. All right, and you're going to see how it sets things up. All right, so let's go back to my sheet again. All right, I'm done with Bauer. Let's go back to Henry. I'm going to highlight all of hers. All right, right mouse click, copy. Let's go back to star attendance. Highlight this entire middle column. Right mouse click, paste. Answer is okay. Then I go back down. From my last one, I delete that. Okay, and I have one more to go, which is Mrs. Peterson's. Okay, and I just like to get them all in all at one time just so that I know everything's all in there at once instead of popping back and forth to copy. Go back to star attendance, click on Peterson's names, and then I will do right mouse click, click paste. The answer is okay, yes, yes. Then I highlight the ones I don't need, and as you can see. Okay, so now I have Peterson's are filled in, Henry's are, and Bauer's are, but it's not totally set up yet. I need to start moving names because they need to match up. All right, they need to match up, and this is where we're going to get names to fill in that other tab which says math attendance. All right, so now I look, okay, there's Bauer Zeph. All right, and the next one is Tyler S. So I do a right mouse click, cut, move down to where Zeph is, do another right mouse click, and paste. And it's moved him right where he needs to go. Next is Tyler, okay, and then there's Tumba. Okay, Trent wasn't there, so I highlight those two. Cut, okay, highlight those two, and paste. So I've moved those two. Okay, Timmy, Summer wasn't there today. Cut, and continue on to do paste. Sal was there, Robin, Rebecca, Quinn, Portia. Okay, Paige wasn't there, so I can do highlight all of those, cut, then I just go to Portia and I can drag it all the way down to the top of that next name. Even though it's Summer wasn't there, it's not going to matter because Portia was the first name that I did. Okay, so I do paste and it fills it right in where it needs to go. Okay, Niwe, Nick, Nicole. Okay, Morgan wasn't there, so I stop there. I do cut, go to Nicole, and again just pull all the way down and then do another paste. Okay, there's Michael L, and Michael C wasn't here, so I just do a cut and then do a paste. Okay, we have Melanie and Maxwell. Mark wasn't there, so we'll cut, do Maxwell and Melanie, go all the way up there and do paste. We have Marissa and Maggie. We didn't have Madeline, so click those two and paste. Macy, Mackenzie, Lydia, Luke. Okay, got all those. Lincoln wasn't there, so cut. Find Luke, pull all the way down again, just highlight it, right mouse click, and paste. Okay, let's see, Caden, Justin. Okay, Josiah wasn't there, so I do cut again, and all the way down, paste. Josh G, Josh A wasn't there, so I cut, And I paste. Both Jessicas were there, James was, Jacob was there, Ian, Hazen, Gabriella, Gabby, Frank, Faith, Dylan, and David Watts wasn't there. So it's nice when you have a big chunk of them. You can do that real easily. So I do cut, find Dylan's name, which is right here, drag all the way down, do another right mouse click, paste, and you've got that whole chunk moved. Let's see, David, Daisy, Connor, Claudia, Christian, Chatham, Brianna, Brett. Okay, got that whole chunk cut. Find Brett's name, which is right here, drag it down, right mouse click, and paste. And then I have Alex C. Yep, and Aaron's right where he needs to be, so I do a cut, and Alex is right below, and then do paste. So now you can see Mrs. Bauer's class is all set up. All the students that were in attendance at this class are where they need to be. So the students that weren't there have blank spaces in the middle. The only thing we need is their last name. So what you do is you click on this one, all right, and then what you need to do is using the control key and your left mouse button, you hold down the control key and then you click on the next one. Okay, see how it kind of grays that? Then you click on the next one, the next one, the next one. You can drag if there's two together. Next, next. Okay, and then I scroll down. Next one, next one, one, next one, next one, and the next one. Then when I'm finished, I'm on my last one, I do a right mouse click. All right, and then I click copy. And it does them in a dashed line. This means it's copied them for me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my math tab. All right. And now I'm just going to start underneath that last name. Again, those are names I know students who do not attend. And then I just drag down however far I want to go. Doesn't matter because it's going to populate it. Okay. So with my left mouse button, I just drag and gray it like this. Okay. Then do a right mouse click and then paste. And it automatically populates those names in there. Okay. I have everything justified to the left, so I just go over here and do a left justify. Okay. So that's how it goes. Puts them in there. Now they are not in alphabetical order. That's easy enough to correct. I simply go up to the top, take that, drag all the way down, okay, go up to my sort button and do sort A to Z. It sorts them all A to Z. Okay, then all of my names are now sorted A to Z. So I'll do this exact same thing in Mrs. Henry's room, and I'll do the exact same thing in Mrs. Peterson's room. And then when I'm finished, it looks similar to what I have right here on the 25th. And as I said, what I then do is I go into Total View to do my notes. I select everybody from my pod, and those names that were not there, okay, I'll look up the Ackerman, Ackerman, Ackerman. Those first three names I see, I uncheck those boxes. Then I would find Atkins, I would uncheck it. Then I would uncheck Bales, I would uncheck Bowen. Okay, and I have it twice here, so I would just eliminate that because I made a mistake there, so it shouldn't be there twice. And again, if I do that, if I end up with the name in there twice, I simply highlight again, go back up to sort A to Z, and it fills in those spaces there. Okay, and it keeps running your percentages as well too. As long as this top one has your total number of students, and this has your total number of students divided by right here, these two are going to be fine. Okay, this is always going to tell you the number of students that didn't show up, no matter what. But right here, this one and this one have to be, your first number has to be the total number of students you're working with. If it's your single class, for example, if I were doing this just for me, it would be 60. And then this one right here would be 60 as well. But since I do the entire pod, it's 180 and 180. Okay, so That's how that works. But as I said, once you fill in everybody, if you find you have duplicate names for some reason, then you just simply, highlight that cell, clear it out, and then you erase that name. Don't delete the row because it'll mess up everything there and you'll lose data. And then you just go back up to your filter sort A to Z, and it automatically populates it right where it needs to go. So you don't have to worry about, having empty rows or anything like that. So that to me is the easy way to do attendance. It sounds like it might be confusing at first and take a lot of time. It kind of does, but once you get into the rhythm, it really does go fast. And you have this ongoing record as well. And you can see a pattern. If I look across this, I can see the students that don't attend. The first ones, as I can see, I already know those students. Though I've talked to those families, those students have already told us, hey, we're not participating in the STAR program, which is fine. We've discussed that. Others that I see across the board where they're not showing and there starts to be a pattern can alert us to that, and then we can talk to the parents. Say, hey, you know what? We've noticed that so-and-so wasn't coming to class, and we're just a little concerned that they were showing up and now they're not. So having this data is very, very handy. And what you can do too is once you get the listing of your names of those students that were in attendance, you can get a running spreadsheet as well if you want, and just date it by like today's date. You could put like today is 10/25. You can make a column that says 10/25 and just dump everybody's name in it and sort it there, and you would have a running total of who was actually there, and then you have a running total of who wasn't there. So you could do it that way. Since we use OneNote, I already have that in OneNote, so I don't necessarily need to do that in the spreadsheet, but if I wanted to, I could easily take it from my OneNote and put it into a spreadsheet. But right now I don't see the need for that. I'm more concerned over those students that are not attending if I need to, have that data handy. So once again, you go through those names, you match them up where they belong. The ones that are empty are the ones that weren't there. You're going to make sure, like I said, it showed you how to highlight those. You're going to copy them. You're going to paste them where they belong. Going to ABC order them. You don't have to do it after each one. You can do it after you're done with everybody, and then go and check off everybody for your notes. The ones that were in this column are the ones you don't need. Uncheck them. If this number up here attended matches what you have checked in your total view, you're good to go. You have accounted for every single student that attended your sessions, and your notes are fine. So that is one way that you can do your attendance. I know other people have various other ways that they do it as well. So, the choice is yours. This is just one way that we've done here with the STAR program in the 5th grade. So hopefully you have found this useful and it wasn't too confusing. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I am more than happy to go over anything with you. I would be more than happy to set up a blank spreadsheet for you. In fact, I will be sending a setup spreadsheet for a pod with this recording. So if you want to use this, you can use it for a pod, or you can use it for a STAR program. You can use it for a single person. The choice is up to you. You make it the way you want it to be used. If you don't want to use it, perfectly fine too. I don't mind. So this is just something that I utilize that it kind of helps me keep all the data together, and if somebody asked me, I could easily go to this and say, hey, this is what it looks like for the 5th grade STAR team. So like I said, thank you for watching. Hopefully you found this useful. If you do have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. My extension's 3013. You can always send me an email. I don't mind. I would be more than happy to hopefully further explain this if you need it. But here's the end of the recording, and I will